Our dream of having virtual reality is finally here, but now we face a new problem. Which one do we buy? Hey everyone, I'm Andrew for Update to Date with Double Edge Nation, and today we're going to be going over the top virtual reality headsets and the differences between them and which one you should buy. Virtual reality gaming has gained a lot of momentum in the last couple of years. You have the Oculus Rift, you have the Sony Morpheus, and you have the HTC with Valve with their Vive. As the virtual reality hardware gets closer and closer to releasing to the consumers, it gets kind of confusing on which one you should buy. And today I'm going to tell you about the 3 most popular virtual reality headsets and the specs of them, and you can figure out which one you should buy when they release in 2016. How about we start off with the most popular of the mix, the Oculus Rift. Well, the specs of the Oculus Rift has a 960 by 1080p screen, it's an OLED, and you'll be able to see 100 degrees of your field of view. It'll connect via a HDMI or USB 2.0 or 3.0. Now, the Oculus Rift at this point is primarily for PC users. It could come to consoles such as PlayStation 4 and Xbox One for the next-gen consoles, but at this point, it's primarily just for PC. But the Oculus Rift is already good for multiple PC games. You have Grid Auto Sports, you have Half-Life 2, you have War Thunder, and Team Fortress 2. If you already buy the development, it's a couple $100 if you want to grab that. But it's still in development at this point, and by all means, the specs that I just told you could change by the time it's released, because it's still going to be released the first quarter of 2016. And at this point, you should expect Oculus Rift to be somewhat good, because Facebook bought them last year in March. The specs of the device should actually jump tremendously because they haven't been changed since they've been bought out. The only problem is if Facebook is behind it, they're probably going to want your DNA at this point because they have everything else with your Facebook. You might want to be a little careful with what Oculus Rift might actually require from you. The second one on the list is the Project Morpheus from Sony. It has a 5.7 OLED display, but it runs with a 1920 by 1080 screen resolution instead of 960 by 1080 like the Oculus Rift. It has a better refresh rate than the Oculus Rift itself. This one can go up to 120 Hz and also 60 Hz, depending on the game you're playing. This one also has approximately 100 degrees field of view, just like the Oculus Rift. It's also HDMI and USB powered as well. The only thing is, this one is obviously from Sony, so this one is supposedly going to work with the PlayStation 4 and the PS Vita. And Sony has confirmed a few games already to go along with the Morpheus project. You have the Surgeon Simulator, you have Project Cars, and Among the Sleep are just 3 games that are already going to work with Project Morpheus. Sony has also confirmed that Epic Games, Unity, Crytek, and Autodesk are just a few that are already working Morpheus side by side. The creators of God of War have already created a simulator, just already testing Morpheus out with the God of War games, showing that you can actually become Kratos within the game, but at this point that's only a prototype. Sony also says it'll work with their multiplayer and local multiplayer games, so if multiple people want to use it, you can on the same console. Now the only reason I don't see this one going to be the big guy on the block is the fact that it's only for Sony products. The Oculus Rift is for PC and might come to consoles later, but at this point with Sony being constricted to just Sony products, I see how the one for Valve or Oculus Rift could transition over into the regular consoles and take over the market instead of Sony taking hold over their own console. And lastly, we're going to go with the HTC and Valve combination of the Vive. The Vive is a nice little creation from Valve and HTC to try and step into the VR headset area, just like with Sony and Oculus Rift and other competitors. But this one seems like it's a little rushed, considering this one will be released in holiday season of this year, 2015. It is going to be rushed and will be out before anything else, so it could be a hit or miss on if it's going to be good or if it's just going to plummet in trash. Now the specs of the HTC one. Now the specs of this one is kind of in the middle between the Sony and the Oculus Rift. This one has a 1200 by 1080 screen resolution. We don't know the actual screen type yet. That hasn't actually been released that I can find. The refresh rate on this one is 90 Hz instead of like the Sony one being 120 and the Oculus Rift one being 75. Now one thing that the actual Vive has going for it has laser sensors into it to determine your position, so it can actually track more than just your head movements from left to right or up and down. So it'll be able to use more of an environment scene, such as the room you're in. And this one is also going to be able to go through HDMI and USB 2.0 and USB 3.0. Now the Vive headset is running with the Steam's VR software. At this point, there's no actual confirmed games for it yet. Now the creator of Microsoft Flight Simulator, Fireproof Games, And even HBO, Google have already signed on to this project to say that they're going to be content creators for this. Now, Valve has already demoed the actual headset with a simulator called Job Simulator. It looks kind of cool. I mean, it shows off the actual headset that you can actually do, but the only thing is, that's the only thing we've actually been able to see with it. And now, one bonus thing I'm going to give you guys, just for a freebie. If you guys haven't heard, Google has their own virtual reality headset out as well. It's for the cheaper side, it's for people who just don't want to go out and spend $300, $400, $500 on a nice virtual reality headset. It's called Google Cardboard. I'm not kidding you. If you actually go Google, or Yahoo or Bing or whatever search engine you use, type in Google Cardboard, you can actually get a cutout that you can print, or you can buy pre-made models, and you actually use your smartphone. Now, I know Samsung has something similar to this as well, but Google has it where you, like I said, you can print it out and do it at home, or you can buy it. And all you gotta do is you just download the app that it uses, and it'll go ahead and use your phone. It'll do a cutout like a pair of glasses. You just slide it in, use some Velcro, secure it in, and any smartphone can actually turn into a virtual reality headset. It's kind of cool. It's a different way to actually approach this. Instead of making something new, you're actually just using something that already exists, such as your smartphone. So it'll be interesting to see which ones pan out, the actual headsets themselves that go on your head, or if we just start using our smartphones and just build a case around our phones. Well, that's it for me, guys. I appreciate you guys watching so much. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like button, and don't forget to comment if you guys want to see something else for me to review or do a news article on. And don't forget to check out Monday's video, and don't forget to check out Wednesday's video, because Maverick's got a nice video over there dealing with different type of guns and history about the guns. And you get over to Wednesday, you can see Cross Chaos raging at Dark Souls. Until next Tuesday, guys, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys then.